Morning everyone, welcome to this morning's teacher learning briefing led by James and myself. We've been looking at this book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Covey, and along with Rachel Wilshire as well. And one of the concepts he has in this book is this idea of the maturity continuum, sort of moving from being dependent on people. I think when we're younger, we're very dependent on things being done for us, and then becoming more independent as we get older. Think about when you're being driven in the car all the time, you don't want to be driven, you want to drive yourself. And then taking that further, looking at interdependence as well.
Okay, so I'm just going to kind of go through it in a little bit more detail on how this could be relevant to our classroom. So students can be reliant on us to tell them what to do and what to write and in exams and so forth, and that's fantastic, especially if those students do actually do what we tell them to do. They can actually respond to that, brilliant. But the problem with that can be sometimes they're so dependent on us that when we're ill or when we aren't around for whatever reason, they don't know what to do and they blame us. You should have been there, you should have told me what to do, I don't know what to do anymore. It's not fair. So from a maturity point of view, we need to get students going through this maturity to continuum so that they're a little bit more independent. And independence is fantastic. They can be set off on a task and they can do the work themselves, and that's brilliant. And this is fantastic because then we're just kind of guiding them a little bit and then they're off. But sometimes too much independence can be a bit of a problem itself as well. I know I've set students going on a performance-based task and I'm going around to see how they're doing. They're, no sir, I don't want you to ruin the ending for you, sir. I don't want to see it yet. And then when you do eventually get to watch their ending, it's really, really bad and really poor, and you wish you just pushed them and go, let me just watch it now. So we're trying to get to that stage where they're interdependent. They're okay to work independently, but they're also confident enough to know when to ask for help, when they need that help, either from other students or from the teachers themselves. And that's the where we're going with this, isn't it, Ben?
So how would we do this? An example, in our Year 8 work at the moment for music, we're working on a jazz unit. And at the beginning, they're very dependent on us. We're having to teach them this part, that part, but then they've got a specific role in a piece of group work. So they've got the bass player or the chord player, the melody player. So once they've learned those different roles, they have to then work together. They have to help each other out and work out, okay, so where are we going? How are we going to put this piece together to make the best possible performance we can make? So they have to think about who's going to start? How do these parts fit together? How are they going to use their rehearsal time? So they're not dependent on us. They're not just working individually. They have to rely on those other people to help them and fix the flaws and the errors that they've got in their work.
And likewise in drama, you don't just have the actors, we've also got lighting and sound technicians that operate the different effects from that regard. Also, students aren't just reliant on their performing skills, they're reliant on organising their own props and costumes. So everyone in their group has a particular job to fulfil. And all of these different techniques and skills marry together for that final performance. And I know I've got students that are performers but are showcasing their pausing, they're changing their performance to highlight what the lighting and sound technicians are doing. And likewise, the lighting and sound technicians are doing particular effects to highlight what the actors can do. So it's all about working together to make sure you're showcasing their skills and their talents.
So also using peer reflection so they can watch each other's work back. So rather than just us telling them what they've done or how to improve it, they can listen to each other's work, they can watch each other's work, they can give them support, they can give them feedback on how to move their work forward in the future as well.
When teachers are giving feedback, it's very important in order to be interdependent, to be open with your feedback. Don't be closed. Don't just say do this, do that and change this. You need to say how can you develop this? What might you change here? So this open questioning is very, very important so that they can start working still independently of you, but you have guided and developed their learning. There is an example of that, which I think we might need to leave for you to watch in your own time on the Sharing and Brookfield website, just based on the time we've got.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the teacher's role is not to tell you what to do, it's to give prompts, it's to give suggestions and guidance. So the students can then reflect on what's being said to them and they can use it how they see best. So rather than just taking it verbatim, they can think, okay, yeah, I like that idea, not so sure about that suggestion, okay, let's see how we can make the most best of this.
It's not just about also asking students to share what their opinion of other work is. Students in our performance-based subjects, I know it definitely happens over in dance, watch videos of their own work and then they can feedback on their own work because it's very difficult sometimes for them to do that when they're in it themselves. So that definitely is a helpful technique.
So, as we were saying, you can be afraid of collaboration. I think when we become independent, we can be afraid of losing that independence, and so we can be afraid of losing that, and it's trying to challenge the students to understand that it's okay sometimes not to want to be on your own and to actually work with other people and ask for that help and work collaboratively.
Yeah, without collaboration we'll never learn for ourselves, we'll always be dependent, so we want to make sure that this interdependence is really coming to the forefront. Thank you.